Okay, am I streaming? Am I live? Am I actually live? I don't want to insert ad breaks just now, YouTube. Thanks for the offer. I think I'm going to go over here. I'm going to do this. Let's see if I can do this. No, here. No. What's going on here? Can I just have this be... There, thank you. That's the way I wanted it. Does that make sense now? Okay. Do I have any viewers yet? Current viewers. Okay, it says I have people there. Are things working? Am I actually live? I can't tell what's happening. I'm half tempted to log into YouTube or something and Is something happening? Okay, it looks like somebody's put in a comment. All right, cool, thank you. So I at least know something's happening. Yay. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of maneuvering here since it looks like everything's now working. I'm going to put this over here. Right, I think. Do I want to do it that way? Yeah, I guess I'll do it that way for as long as everything seems to be. See if I can set this up so I can see the... All right, there you go. I'll just leave that up like that. I think that's that. All right. And, all right, I'm going to try a thing. Let's do this. Let's do this. Put that over there for a minute. Let's do that. Let's put this back here like this. Okay, hang on. I've been looking forward to this. Ah, well, hello there. Is it Trask Coker? I'm glad you found me. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. I mean, I don't really have anything. I don't know. I just wing it. I mean, that's what I do is I just wing it. I'm still kind of... There we go. Let's put that like that. I'm still getting things set up just to have it dialed in or whatnot. And it's 6 o'clock now, so I guess it's official start time, right? But yeah. Okay, I think I have everything more or less working properly now. Although, that's weird. I don't know if I'm going to like doing that. Okay, let's see what we have here. Cube of Giga Chadness. Well, I guess if you were here early, that's okay. Sorry. Don't mean to be so boisterous into the microphones. How is the audio and all of that for everybody? It looks at this end everything should be okay, but I don't know. Are the levels high enough? Is everything okay? Okay, so I'm not sure what to do with this. Because if I put that over there, it's easy for me to see it, what I'm doing, but it makes me look over there as opposed to that side, which makes me feel like you guys are looking at the side of my head. I don't know. Well, whatever. I'll just try to deal as best I can. You know what I'm going to do while I'm waiting for more people to show up is I'm going to go ahead and flip to this one, and we'll do a little bit of live code breaker. So your daughter Cadence? Well, tell Cadence I said hello back. Ilsa, good evening. You know, I'm going to turn this back to... Everybody, watch your eyes. I'm going to turn the dark mode off on this thing. Yikes. That's bright. But I can't see that. It's hard for me to play with this when it's like that. So let me just do a thing here. There we go. Let's just start this over. Is that too horrible with it not being in dark mode? If it is, I'll switch it back and I'll just try to squint into it to be able to read the thing. I just realized that when I set up this to do this, that I'm a bit farther from the screen than, you know, when I'm sitting here just on my own. Not tremendously, but, you know. Anyway. How's everybody's Christmas and holidays, and how was everybody's Thanksgiving, and does anybody have any plans for New Year's? And well, and here's another thing. I live in California and am from a, you know, white middle class suburban sort of background. So my family celebrates Christmas. What does your family celebrate? Okay, so I'm going to say the red and the orange are okay. And we'll introduce the green. Okay. Well, it's not the orange, so it's got to be the yellow. And if it is the red, it's one of the other ones. So let's say that it's the red and not the green. What search engine do I use? I typically use DuckDuckGo. So if I say that and that. And mostly the reason, I mean, I don't know how much I can, I'm assuming, let's just say that we can trust them, that their whole thing about privacy is truthful or whatever. I guess that played a little bit into my moving to it. Really what it is everything else, they're just less ad cluttered yet, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure they'll catch up. You know, it just seems to be a thing that they all just start having more and more ads and more, that the searching gets less and less effective because it's more and more about commerce and, yeah, whatever. It's just me griping, I guess, but in any case. Hey, what do you know? So we got the red, and we knew the yellow anyway, and now the light blue. What search engine do you use, and is there a particular reason you're curious? Okay, so I didn't pick the correct light blue out of the 3 choices available to me, so let's go ahead and put in the red and the yellow. The red and the yellow go there. Let's pick a different light blue. The other good bit is that we know the dark blue is in it, and it can't be over here, so it has to go there. So now it's just a matter of, is it purple or is it magenta? I say purple, just because it's, you know, the next one in left to right order. And again, I picked the wrong position for the light blue, but at least purple's correct. It's just not in the right spot. All right, so that means purple goes there. That means light blue goes there. We've known about the red for a bit. We've known about yellow for a bit. And we now know about the dark blue as well. This will be code cracked. There you go. What do you know? No more. Okay, I'm going to go. This is a game that somebody suggested to me at the last set of do I invest in stocks? No. I'm poor. I don't invest. I have nothing. No, I don't have any investments in stocks. I'm also an anarchist, right? So, I mean, that wouldn't make much sense for me to be investing in corporations, if you know. I mean, I don't know. Anyway. Hey, Space Cowboy, how you doing? All right, so let's see. Life is okay, man. You know, I'm mostly, you know, now that there's more people here, I'm going to switch from gameplay scene to the other scene for a bit and just do this, and then I can switch back later. But that way, I think if I do that, I can do this, and that way I can see the OBS window and still kind of face that area there where the camera is, and I feel like I'm actually talking to humans as opposed to, you know, kind of looking around at monitors and screens and all that. And I can also see the comment stuff, so I can, you know, pretend that I'm actually a human interacting with other humans. Oh, right, you're doing the wrestling thing. So did you have a meet today? Is that what you would call it, a meet or a match? Did you win? Well, even more important than winning, did you actually gain cool experiences for your life by participating? You know, that's the better thing altogether. Has it improved your life by being a part of high school wrestling? Okay, well, maybe I'll go back and play some more games. All right, let's go ahead and go back to here. I'm going to move this back over here now, temporarily. Maybe we'll move them back and forth, I guess, a bit. Anyway, somebody turned me onto this last month when we did the streaming. Oh, there we go. Had 2 weeks and have been in most of it. Oh, good deal, man. Right on. Right on. That's a good thing. How's your, well, you said you're a bit bruised up and all that, so you're having to do, you know, ice baths and all of that kind of thing, or ice packs or whatever. God, it's such a weird thing to look at. Hey, Ed. It's like, it always, I don't know, it's just, my brain just goes, when I see, okay, so I'm saying things, and then there's OBS, which is processing, and it always lags a little behind in reality, just because that's the nature of how things happen. And then there's YouTube that's over there, and it's like way behind reality, at least for my reality, right? I mean, you guys are seeing it when you see it, but, you know, anyway. Well, make sure you do get your rest there, Space Cowboy. You know, I mean, that's the. I've seen this all too often, and I mean, I'm not really an expert in, you know, physical whatever for athleticism or anything, but, you know, I have been interested in it from time to time, and it seems that one thing that people often overlook is recovery time and rest periods for, you know, that kind of thing. Have I ever taken an IQ test? Yeah, well, I don't know if it was actually an IQ test or what it was, but when I was a kid, I was actually fairly young when it happened, I guess. Let's see, I was in second grade, so I was 7 years old. I was given a battery of tests, and it was determined that I was a kid genius. I was labeled what's called a mentally gifted minor. I was told I could join Mensa if I wanted to, but maybe I had to wait till I was a certain age, or I don't remember. I had no interest in it, so I don't really care. I don't know, what does that mean? And I got to take weird classes for a while at certain schools and things like that. And it meant that I got treated unusually at certain schools at certain times. Largely, I found it to be, looking back on it, not worth it. I tend to say that I was diagnosed as a gifted child. So, I mean, other people have done well with their, you know, intellectual gifts. It didn't work out so well for me. I don't know if that answers your question or satisfies your curiosity or whatever, but so I suppose, yeah, you know, if I was to take a test, I suspect I would get higher than average. You know, I don't know what that means. I've also done a fair amount of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and, you know, especially the, you know, drugs, alcohol, and that kind of thing. So, you know, I may have I may have battered the noggin up a bit. You know, try not to slouch. Man, I have a bad habit of that. It's a thing I have to keep working on. Okay, I'm going to go back and play a little bit more drench while we're having a little bit of idle time here. So let's go back to here. Let's go back to here. That does that like that. Okay. Yeah, my day is going well, Michael. And Space Cowboy, I didn't see you had another comment in there. You started, I'm assuming you meant dating a sophomore, not darting a sophomore. Right on. Well, you know. I don't know. I keep starting to play this game, and then I just keep getting pulled back to the comments. So, you know, let's just forget about the game for a while. I just get, when it gets lulled, I get so weird and I feel awkward. But yeah, my day is going well. If I ever delved into GTA franchise, that's the Grand Theft Auto, right? No, you know, I've not been. I was very much into arcade games, like back in the '80s. But then, after I became an adult, I kind of lost interest in video games, and then I just never got back into them. So, you know, yeah. And it says Pyrus Pangi or Pang. I don't know how to pronounce that. Pyrus Pang. Well, I'm glad I've been able to help you relax, man. You're welcome. You know, that's it. You know what I mean? That's what, at least a big reason why I'm doing it, right? ASMR helps me, so, you know, keep the ball rolling. Yeah. Anyway, you're welcome. I'm glad you like my stuff, man. And I hope I didn't butcher your name too badly. Oh, that's right. You're only a freshman. Older woman, yeah, you know. Well, you know, watch that. My ex-wife was older than me, and it didn't work out so well, so. Yeah, you're awfully young, so, you know, don't worry about it. Okay, what do we have here? Well, so I guess you're a pretty, yeah, recent, you said that already, didn't you? That you just recently discovered me, didn't you, Trask? My brain is just, you know, well, whatever. It is what it is. What are some ordinary things in daily life that give you ASMR? Well, you know, my most reliable trigger is a female voice. And that can happen, you know, in any number of places. Like I've been on a bus and been triggered. I've been on a train or a plane. You know, sometimes even a woman's voice over a loudspeaker or PA system will do it. Otherwise, tappy noises and little percussive noises and things, those tend to work. If it's other noises, it's if I'm someplace quiet. So like, well, libraries is a good place, right? Waiting rooms, medical waiting rooms. I mean, I tend to, well, it depends on what's going on, but, you know, I have to go see doctors and things now and again. And, you know, yeah. I hope that helps you understand, you know, the ordinary things, mostly just simple, quiet things and female voices. Affection TV, hello and good night. Well, hello, and yeah, it's here. It is only 6:17 in California. I'm not sure where it is, what it is for all of you all, but hopefully you're able to, you know, be chill regardless of whatever time of day it is for you. Let's see. I believe I said something like calculus is what separates a man from the boy. Okay, yeah, there's two quotes. One was Trask. When I took first semester calculus, the professor that I took, that was his thing. That calculus is what separates the men from the boys as far as mathematics. And a different guy I had for real analysis, which is a little bit more advanced along in this system of things. Anyway, but he suggested that part of the role of real analysis was to keep calculus honest. Basically, it's the underlying, it kind of is. It's where if when you take real analysis, you're writing proofs for all the theorems that you use in calculus. That's really, that's a big, huge part of it. It says keyboards in public settings like offices, doctors. Yeah, those little clickety clackety clickety clack clack clack. Yeah, I like that a lot. Have I ever played Osmos? That name seems kind of familiar. Maybe I'm not sure if it's familiar or is it just the thing just bumped into my head. There's a demon out of mythology and occult stuff called Asmodeus, but that's ASM. I don't remember how to pronounce it. I think it's DE. I think it's a DEUS thing, so like a God root thing or whatever. And I think I might be conflating that, syllabically with whatever was in my brain. So maybe it's not something I'm familiar with. But yeah, I'll have to look into. I'll try to remember to Google it, or I always just say Google, even though I actually do use DuckDuckGo. Maybe I should duck it. I don't know, what do you say? It's just everybody uses Google. Yeah, it's turned into a verb, not just their product. As the same thing happened with Xerox, right? Oh, Osmos. Osmos? Osmos. Yeah, no, it still doesn't. I don't think I played it. But you say it's not a puzzle. Is it like an action game, or is it like one of those, side scroll games? Or I used to play. What was it I played when I was staying in the Netherlands? Sonic the Hedgehog. The guy who I worked for, and we both lived in the same building. He had this. Well, whatever. Yeah, it's a long story. I've told it a little bit before, but he was into video games, and so I played a little bit when I was over there. Yeah, it was okay. And Zayatobe 1. I'm glad you like my stuff, man. I appreciate that. Space Cowboy. You chipped your tooth. Did you chip it bad enough that you had to go get that stuff put over it to repair the tooth, as it were? I had to do that from skateboard accidents when I was younger, but um, I hope you didn't. I hope it wasn't too bad. I hate chipped teeth. That's like one of those things. It's just there's something, because chipped teeth. It's not, well, at least for me, it hurt bad. That's fine. It sucked. But I mean, there's worse things that hurt worse. But like abrasions, I found abrasions way worse than like a chipped tooth as far as pain. But there's this weird other sensation that goes along with the chipped tooth. That's like the rubbing or scratching your finger on a chalkboard, which that doesn't bother me anymore. I used to when I was a kid, but it doesn't bother me at all anymore. But yeah, the chipped tooth thing was like that on like just several orders of magnitude. You know what I mean? It's just this weird. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I hope it wasn't all that bad for you, Space Cowboy. Anybody going to do any cool vacations this year? I'm going to be stuck here. I'm broke, so I'm not going anywhere, man. All right, well, at least you got the pin, right? So, all right, cool. Okay, so it's not da-da-da-da action puzzle game, almost like Okay, so you push them around. Interesting. So when you're pushing them around, Ilsa, are you kind of, is it that kind of thing where you push them and then it's like that, like how that old game Asteroids, like, how stuff would float around as if you're using, the momentum, kind of thing? Is it that kind of a thing going on? Um, yeah, I'm not sure. Lovely. Oh yeah, thanks, man. It's kind of, I mean, it's kind of become synonymous with me at this point, hasn't it? You know, I think if somebody were to cut it off, I'd probably vanish. Ah, okay, cool. Yeah, I was in the Netherlands twice. Once in 19, I guess it was 93, starting in January, yeah, for like 3 months or something like that. And I was in Utrecht. I don't think I say that very well anymore. And then I went back again in 1998, again for a few months. It was this artist guy I worked for. He used to be in California, and then he moved to the Netherlands, and it was kind of a weird. I've told the story before. Maybe I'll retell it again some other day. But yeah, I think it's in one of the live streams is when I told it recently back. But yeah. So I spent some probably cumulatively, like 5 or 6 months in Utrecht, maybe a little bit more than that. I don't know. Um, and of course, got to get around a little bit, like Rotterdam and of course Amsterdam. There's a couple other places whose names elude me. Um, but do I speak any foreign languages? Not really. I took German in school. Ich spreche nur ein bisschen Deutsch. I don't know. That's about the only thing I can say off the top of my head. It just means I speak a little German. Um, I mean, yeah, I don't think it would probably take me much effort to actually brush up and be able to be somewhat useful in German. You know what I mean? And I keep saying I'm going to, and I just keep not doing it. Um, I know I can recognize some Spanish because I used to live in Southern California. I mean, um, yeah, that's about it, really. You know, uh, well, thank you, Trask. That's very kind of you. That's super generous. I appreciate that, man. Again, that's really, 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 very cool. So, everybody give Trask a thumbs up and say, yay. I always feel a little silly. I'm never sure what the appropriate thing to say in those forms of thing is. But anyway, thank you. That's the best thing to say. So, Kurtel, are you from Deutschland, or did you take it in school, or do you have family, or I'm not going to try to speak German. Sorry. Österreich. Whereabouts in Austria? Wien. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Ilta. Or does that say elite? Elite. Sorry. Yeah. I remember from school that Österreich is Austria. Yeah. Yeah, I think my world, the Wizard Tuesday, is going okay for the moment. All right, yeah, Kurtle, right on. I would love to get to that part of the world. Actually, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, any of the. I mean, since well, my last name is Postman. I have some German heritage in my background. I'm not sure. It's Ashkenazi Jew thing, something like that. But I mean, I don't really practice Judaism. It's like generations back. But yeah, which is part of the reason I took it in school. And man, and, having been a little bit to Europe, I would like to go back and see more of it. But Um, especially the region where it's alpine seems very appealing to me. You know what I mean? I mean, all the pictures in the movies, and the Sound of Music, right? That's the the Edelweiss and all of that stuff, right? I mean, that's the whole thing, isn't it? It's gorgeous there, at least from what I can tell from over here, it's gorgeous. Excuse me, I'm gonna have a little sip of tea. My throat's getting a little dry. Okay. Yeah, Colonel, I intend, I would absolutely intend to get back to, or not back to, but get to that part of the world. And Vienna would be where I would go, or Wien, whatever, however, I mean, I don't know how. Yeah, everybody else is going to expect me to say Vienna, aren't they? Yeah, because, well, the whole thing, right? Mozart even, right? All of that stuff, right? Rococo and Baroque and the whole Austria, Hungarian, all that history is just crazy. Let's see, do I have any noteworthy Christmas plans? No, unfortunately not. I'm not going to go anywhere. So I guess, so in that regard, not noteworthy. I'm just going to be staying around here at home. I don't know if any of the relatives that live away are going to be visiting. I don't think so. Actually, who would that be anyway? I guess just my one niece. But anyway, yeah, nobody's coming in. I'm not going away. I don't know if anything exciting is happening around here, really. Yeah, just the normal stuff. We'll be doing family stuff and, a meal. My sister tends to be a pretty good cook. I mean, I think I used to be a good cook back in the day, but I just don't cook anymore. And my sister's a good cook, so I just let her take charge of that kind of thing, right? Yeah, but yeah, I mean, not really, just basic stuff. How about you? Does anybody else have any good plans? What about you, Trask? You and your daughter, or anybody else in your family? I mean, what is the thing, man? Big tree, big decorations, big meal, big festivities. I mean, we're going to be, well, I guess the one thing is that let's see, so I live downstairs here in the garage / basement sort of converted area that I've kind of made here for my live work, whatever you want to call this project studio space. But upstairs is my sister, her husband, her middle daughter and her boyfriend, this guy Jarrell, who's a family friend, her youngest son, my dad, and my eldest nephew. They all live upstairs. My eldest niece and her, I guess, boyfriend. I mean, they're I don't know, life partners, or I don't know what you want to call them. They're not married, but they live together and everything. She lives here in the Bay Area, but yeah, she'll be here. So there's gonna be there's gonna be a decent like I guess 11, 12 of us, something like that. Anyway, let me get back to the notes here. You should do more close-up whisper type videos. Yeah, it's not. Yeah. As far as the whisper thing, it's not that I can't do it. I mean, it is more difficult than soft speaking, and that's really what it comes down to, is that I'm just lazy, and it's like I have to make sure that I consciously be, like when I whisper, I really have to be conscious about it. It's not a natural, just easy thing. I have to actually think about it if I'm going to do it. Yeah, I should do it more often. Enough people have asked me about it. I just have to, suck it up and, don't be a pussy and do it. Excuse me. Okay. All right, welding a exhaust system, right on, man. See what Craig says. Yeah, we do get crowded, Craig, but it is what it is. It's okay. Let's see. Sometimes Mike says, "Hey, Bill." Glad you like the content, man. That's nice. Thank you for letting me know. Like the show and tell. Yeah, you know, show and tells are okay. I mean, I suppose they're reasonably easy to make affection. You know, right? I mean, most of the videos I make are, you know, none of them are really that hard, are they? Um, it's just a matter of me getting, you know, doing them. Really, it's really kind of the thing. But my problem with the show and tell stuff is I don't know what to show. You know what I mean? Just most of my stuff just seems pretty ordinary, and I don't know what, you know. I mean, the books, obviously, that made sense. I did record one for my CDs a while back, but the audio got corrupted, but after I filmed it, I kind of did like I did with the books, but I did it backwards. Like the books I was unboxing and putting on a shelf. The CDs I was putting back into a box because I'm going to store them until I figure out what I'm going to do with them. I was going to say digitize them, I think, but they're already digital, right? They're already a CD, but to get them onto my hard drive, I guess, or some other hard drive or something. So I put them back into a box, and it's like, ah, crap, do I really want to unbox them and, you know, redo that? Anyway, so I don't know what you know, yeah, I may or may not do more show and tells. It's just a matter of me coming up with stuff to show and tell about. But yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. Let's see what else we have here. So Trask is going to smoke a turkey. Right on. That's a good thing, man. Yeah, hang out with your family. That's always a good thing for Christmas. I mean, that's what I'm going to be doing, right? That's the thing, right? I'll let Kat, that's my sister. Her name's Catherine, but I call her Kat, or Sis, or sometimes Sissy. Um, Depends on how, you know, if I'm feeling like her big brother and think, you know, oh, you're my cute little sister, then I'll call her Sissy. But anyway. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, Trask, you know, the family thing. Yeah. Kobez says, happy holidays. Victoria, Australia. Oh, right, that's right. You guys are the backwards of us as far as the seasons thing, the tilt of the earth and all. Um, yeah, well, we know, happy holidays to you as well, and I hope your summer is going fantastic. Victoria, I'm bad with Australian geography. Is that southwest coast over on that side, or is it down like, um, it's Canberra is the capital, right? That's on the southeast coast, right? I don't know. Tasmania's down in the southeast, right? Pathetic at my fucking geography. I'm trying to improve it. Um, Thanks, Craig. I'm glad you liked that. Affection says it could even be food. You know, maybe I will do a show and tell of food sometime because I eat the same thing almost every day. You know what I mean? My diet is fairly limited, to be honest. Um, Mostly just, well, whatever. I'll tell you about it if I ever do that video. So I'll not babble about it now. Trask says, you're from Oklahoma. I've lived in California for basically 58 years. I'm 58 years old. And, you know, with the exception of vacations and like the little bit of time I've spent in the UK and the Netherlands, which all told is, you know, months, you know. Otherwise, I've lived in California, either between San Diego County or either San Francisco or Alameda County. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Your mom cooks, right? Yeah. Well, you know, I used to do that. Although, you know, man, for a while when I was a young adult, I actually lived with my grandmother as my mom's mom. She had this huge house where we used to go as kids on vacation, um, and it was a cool thing for me because she had this huge house and I got to have a good place to live in. And it was good for her because she had a huge house and it was more than she could really take care of on her own. So it was like, you know, I got to help her around the house and that kind of thing. Um, but otherwise, she kind of she just treated me like an adult for the most part. So I kind of just came and went as I pleased. But it was cool because she's a grandma, right? And I was her grandson. So even though she kind of just let me come and go, um, she always made sure there was food, and because like I was, I could like make my own food and do things kind of on my own, but there was always stuff in the fridge, right? She's always like, oh, I made some spaghetti and there's way more than I could eat, so there's a ton in the fridge if you, you know what I mean? Okay, here we go. I gotta scroll back up. I'm letting the comments stack up a little bit. Here we go. So here we go. Kobe says, okay, right on. Okay, I get it now. Southwest bottom right corner, just above Tasmania. Okay, I see. I get it. I'm trying to get it in my head. You know what I mean? Okay, I think I got a good visualization of it now. Okay, so Ilsa says, oh yeah, go get your rest. Do what you need to do, Ilsa, and watch it at your leisure. I'm trying to do these at the middle of every month. So far, I've been able to keep them going. So we'll see. Hopefully, I'll be doing it next month too. So I try to get them scheduled at least a week beforehand, and so I guess just look for the announcements just to make sure. Or you could always, send me a message via Facebook and say, hey, blah, blah, blah. I'm fine with that. Anyway, get a good night's rest, Elsa. Back to Curl says, yeah, that's good. Man, when my mom was still around, she was a good cook, and I always liked it when she had food around. That was always good. Okay, so Craig says he's up in Canada, Newfoundland. Right. Because you guys you're way up there, aren't you? Because I used to know a girl that I used to interact with a fair amount here. Actually, I knew her from here. She was somebody I met via the ASMR thing, and she was in Nova Scotia. And I never really thought about Canada that much, to be honest. Whatever, I didn't know anybody, so whatever. But not trying to be a jerk. I just, whatever, out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, I suppose. But yeah, Newfoundland's way up there, aren't you? I imagine it would be cold. Yeah. Anyway, Richard says, hi, Bill. Hi, back to you. Oh, hang on. That thing's going. I got to slow it down and scroll back a little bit. Okay, here we go. So, Craig, yeah, well, yeah, takeout. Yeah, takeout's fine. Well, here's the thing. I tend to be, I don't know. I don't order takeout because I'm broke. You know what I mean? So that's the thing for me. But yeah, if you got the money, takeout's easy. You know what I mean? It's just you don't have to do dishes. You don't have to worry about it. And depending on where you order from, you can actually be fairly confident that you're eating something that's decently nutritious. So Levi says, like your content. Ah, well, I'm glad you like my content. You're very welcome. Yeah, my grandmother was a good baker too. Kurt, yeah. I mean, oh, she used to make stuff that was like stuff that like a lot of other people don't make. I think it's because well, given the fact that she was, the generation that she was, but also that she was from Indiana, small town Indiana. So like she made persimmon pudding and persimmon cookies, and she cooked with figs a lot and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it was all this like, old school baking, cookies and stuff like that, and pies, like yeah, like pumpkin pies, but squash pies and all that kind of thing too. Yeah, Tressa. Wait, just by doing this. Well, thank you, man. I'm well. Yeah, I try. It's just, well, okay. So here's the thing. I mean, it would be great for me to be able to get, material stuff back from the channel, and yay, cool, great, whatever. But my motivation for starting to make ASMR was that I liked it, so I thought I would make it and give it back, and so that kind of got me started. So that was the main motivation, and at least initially. And then I kind of liked making, and then whatever, my motivations and my discipline is bad. But when I do make it, it's okay. I feel pretty good about making it. But after I started making the live streams, I was kind of like, it's a kind of a cool thing. It's like I feel like I feel less anonymous about, like when I see your guys' comments and stuff. I mean, I know I don't really know you. It's not like we're shaking hands and anything like that. But, it's like an extra layer of something. You know what I mean? It feels like I kind of know you guys a little bit better, or I'm kind of a little bit more connected, I mean, I don't know. I have fantasies of like way in the future when when I'm a wealthy man for some reason, whether I won a lottery ticket or something, or bought a winning lottery ticket or something. I would go on Bill's ASMR tour and set up weird events in various places so you could do meet and greets all over the place or something. You know what I mean? That would be cool. But I don't know. Maybe someday. For the moment, though, we will just stick with what we can do here with live streams and the like. Anyway, so Levi says. Yeah, cool. Epic Drone says, yeah, okay. Do reaction videos of what your viewers sent you on YouTube. I've been thinking about doing reaction videos because I've had a few people suggest that I do them. And I've been thinking about it. But I have mixed feelings about reaction videos, I mean, I have seen them, and I've indulged in a weird, okay, so there's a couple of things I like about reaction videos at times. Sometimes it's kind of like, it reminds me of when I was a young person, like say in high school, and you got a new record and you were kind of excited about it, right? And you wanted to play it for somebody else because you wanted to see them like it, right? And it's not just that you want to play, you get the new Led Zeppelin record, In Through the Outdoor when it first came out, you go, ooh, you get excited about it, and blah, 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 blah. And it's not just that you want to play it for your friends, like so that they get information, you know what I mean? You want them to like it, right? I mean, that's the kind of thing. So it's kind of this, it's tapping into that same thing when you watch, or at least sometimes when I watch the reaction videos, it's like tapping into that. I'm seeing somebody else potentially like something that I like, right? So it's doing that. The other thing I like that I find really entertaining is sometimes watching young people watch like Led Zeppelin and stuff like that, or Pink Floyd, because it's something it's like maybe they haven't heard of it before. And, sometimes I think people are faking it, you know what I mean? But I've seen a couple of those things, and it seems kind of entertaining to see. Ooh, yeah, you like it. That's good stuff, isn't it? Anyway, so back to the reaction video thing. And I know that there's, and if you do reaction videos appropriately, right, I think it's fine, and I think you should be able to do them, right? It's fair use, right? As long as you're actually doing it. But there's a certain number of people that do reaction videos, and really what they're doing is they're just looking for a cheap, easy way of making content. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just a cop-out, really, or laziness, or whatever. And so I don't want to feel like I'm falling into that trap. But the other thing is, I don't know what I would react to that I felt like I would bring something to it. You know what I mean? I've been thinking about maybe doing reaction, have people send me things, but a reaction to other ASM artists specifically. I'm thinking I might do that, but that's still kind of just in my noggin. I don't know. So I guess watch this space, right? I don't know. But thanks for the suggestion, though. You know what I mean? It's always good to get suggestions. I mean, what's the worst that can happen is I just don't like the suggestion, right? Anyway, thanks. Yeah, it's something I will consider. Wow, Trask, that's crazy generous. Very cool. Thank you very much. So if everybody didn't notice, Trask has just been a super generous guy and given me some dough, man. Thank you. Okay, so let me see if I can get back to things here. Okay, so Craig says, my mom used to make cottage pudding and moose meat pies. Moose meat. I don't know what moose meat is. Oh, I see. You like to have the videos now. All right, I get it. Right. Wow, thanks, Trask. That's really cool. Thanks again for your generosity, man. That's fantastic, and I appreciate the sentiment. And Merry Christmas to you, right? And Merry Christmas to us all. I mean, what's that? Tiny Tim, right? God bless us. What is it? Each and every one. I mean, I know I'm an atheist, but the sentiment is, that we all should have the world and all of our wellness should be at a maximum, right? You know what I mean? Wait, are you... What's going on here? Okay. My thing is bouncing around and I can't keep track of what's going on here. Let's see, what is it? So, Vassal G says, how many years to grow a beard that long? I wonder why it is that sometimes over there I can see down lower than over there and vice versa. I don't know. Anyway, so how long did it take me to grow the beard? To get it long didn't take very long at all. I'm trying to think, probably, I don't know, maybe a couple of years or something, maybe not even that. It didn't really take that long to grow it, but my hair grows fast, so, yeah, I don't know for sure, but it didn't take that long, but, yeah, I mean, I've had it for a long time, but, yeah, that's the other thing is when I was growing it, I think it took quite a bit less than 2 years, maybe, but the thing is when I was growing it, I decided that, be trimming it and, all that kind of thing, and, to keep the split ends off of it and, the like. But, now I'm just a lazy guy. And I mean, as you can see, I don't, I haven't, think, well, here, this will give you an idea of how fast my hair grows. I moved in here to this house and did the conversion before I ran out of money of this space. Started in 2017. And and then I was in here for a little bit of time, and I think the last time my hair was cut, and I actually had it cut like, really short, was probably like 4 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, something like that. So this is, from buzz to that, and like, whatever. So, anyway, whatever, my hair grows. Except for here, right? It's decided to stop there, but, whatever. Anyway. Okay, Curl, go get some sleep, get some rest. I'll see you the next stream when you can watch these at your leisure in the future. Thanks for coming by. Craig says, moose meat is just meat from a moose. Oh, okay. Okay, I thought maybe it was like some kind of, I don't know what I thought. I think what happened is my brain somehow was thinking like loose meat, those loose meat sandwiches that are kind of big. Where are those? It's someplace back east. Anyway, I don't know, my brain just got confused. Sometimes that happens. Anyway, what time is it getting to be, by the way? 6:50. Okay. Okay, let's see. What was the rest of this thing? Pie crust and served slice with mustard on top. All right, yeah, okay, that could be all right. I mean, I haven't had moose meat. Okay. I've had bison, and I thought that was all right. At least I think it was bison. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was bison. Yeah, there's a place in San Francisco that a friend of mine, it was he's kind of a cook sort of guy. And there's this butcher shop in San Francisco that has stuff that's not normal. I mean, well, I shouldn't say not normal. That's not what it. I guess exotic, unusual. The stuff you don't see every day in Safeway, that kind of thing. So like bison, ostrich. Yeah, we had one time he did raviolis. We had a dinner party thing, and we had us over for raviolis. It was ostriches, stuffed with ostrich meat. It was really good. I mean, it was, I don't know. It didn't taste like chicken. I think it tasted more like what I would call meat than poultry, to be honest. But, yeah. Rita Caldas da Silva. I am doing well, Rita. Doing okay. Yeah, it's a Saturday thing. And well, I hope you are digging the content. That's great. Thank you for finding me, and thanks for the kind words. Caribou, right? Man, you guys are up there, aren't you? I mean, we have deer here in California, but that's not the same thing, is it? It's like, what do you, I guess, white-tailed deer or something like that? Yeah, a caribou, and that always makes me think of just, I don't know, bleak winter landscapes, with it, like, I'm thinking of like tundra permafrost type, you know, lots of white. Just maybe a few little scraggly branches with no leaves or whatever sticking out here and there. Is anybody else having any tremendous, boastful worthy vacation or holiday plans? Polar bears, wow. Crazy. I mean, I've only seen them in zoos. They're gigantic, though. Man. I remember as a kid there was one at the San Diego Zoo that struck me as being particularly large. Now, I don't know whether he really was, a particularly large example of a polar bear, you know, um, but it struck me that he was. But I was a kid, so. And I don't remember, we used to do the bus tour and stuff, and I don't remember any of the information that they would have said about, because that's the kind of thing they would have said, like, and there's Bubba over there, the big polar bear, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I don't know, they would have said something, but I don't know. I don't remember any of that stuff really. Turkey dinner, right on. Yeah, there you go, Craig. And Rita says, so you are from Belgium. All right, cool. Well, where are you at now that you are returning to Brussels? And are you going like for like just a quick trip? Or are you going to be able to spend like a month and some stuff? Or what time do you have to end your live stream? I don't have to end it at any particular time. I tend to, it varies. I think I'm probably only going to be doing this for about another half hour, maybe a little bit more than that. Um, my limiting factor is whether or not I get too tired. Mostly it's down to my back. If my back gets too tired, then I'm going to puss out. But yeah, so I try to keep them to be something in the neighborhood of an hour and a half. That's kind of in my mind. Minimally an hour. I want to do at least an hour every time. Um, the more the better, I think, but whatever. But yeah, I think I'm going to shoot for at least 7:30 tonight, since it's coming up on 7, I guess, as yet. So, yeah, I don't know. I hope that answers your question. Um, and I'm going to, let's see, I'm doing this one. So my plan, and I don't know what, this is kind of the plan. Let's see, time will tell whether or not I keep to it or not. So 6 p.m. on the Saturday, midnight from Saturday into Sunday, and then Sunday at 5 p.m., all West Coast times. At the weekend nearest the 15th is kind of my plan, for live streams. And each one should be at least an hour long, and hopefully more than that if I can, depending on my enthusiasm and my back and all that kind of nonsense, right? And if, maybe I'm a curmudgeon that day. Yeah, anyway, so hopefully it answers the question. Glasgow, Scotland. Belgian and Portuguese. Okay, well, that's cool. That's it mixes. I'm a mix, right? So, like on my mom's side, it's mostly UK and France, Italy, and then on my dad's side, it's Scottish and then Ashkenazi Jews on the German side. Um, that's the most of it. I'm sure there's more to it than that. But anyway, um, but Scotland over to Belgium, that's not that big a trip, is it, right? Yeah. I mean, that's for me. I mean, we'll see, here's the thing. I'm in the U.S., and for us, see, I'm always chuckling to myself, when I think about Europe, because Europe is tiny. I mean, it's a tiny little place, really, you know. Um, I mean, the United States is ginormous compared to Europe. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe ginormous is an exaggeration, but, it's like I have a friend, a very, very dear friend, lives in the UK, and he's actually been here. He lived here for a brief little bit of time. He was married to a friend of mine. And but he and I will talk, and there's times I'm just like, wow, you guys just don't see distances the same as we do. You know what I mean? It's not that it's good or bad or anything like that. It's just, we just, like he'll complain about having to drive a particular distance and being able to sit, or having to sit in the car for a period of time. And I'll just be like, are you kidding me? That's nothing, man. Anyway, so I get back to the comments here. Well, JS25, I'm glad you did pop in. I hope maybe, the live streams, I don't know how much ASMR this is for anybody, frankly, because I do tend to kind of forget and then let my voice get a little too rambunctious. I mean, I do try to keep it kind of mellow and calm and all of that, and I try to, veer away from, volatile topics and the like, for the most part. But yeah. Anyway, I'm glad you showed up, JS, and I hope it ends up being worth it, either for just, interests, or maybe we can get you to be lulled back. Get yourself back to sleep. Yeah, that's exactly right. You know what I mean? Because 100 kilometers is a long way, right? And 100 years is a long time. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, man. But here's the thing. I mean, well, us, those of us who have invaded, the Americas, think that 100 years is a long time. That the people, whose land we stole probably have a different perspective of it, just because they were here, right? I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Right? We don't have the perspective because we haven't been here that long. I mean, the people that I'm descended from, anyway, right? I mean, my ancestors came from over there. But yeah, for example, when I was in Utrecht, and I lived on the place I was at was at 23 Predikarenstraat. That was the address. And I was at the flat immediately above the storefront. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Why am I talking about this? My brain just brain farted on me. Why am I talking about Utrecht? Oh, the distances and stuff, right? Is that what it was I was talking about? And the ages. That's what it was. God, my brain. Jeez, Bill. Okay, so the place I was staying at in that 23 Predikarenstraat is like super old, like hundreds of years old, like I don't know, like 400 or 500 years old, or even older than that. I want to say it was like from the 1300s or something like that. Like just mind-blowingly old. Um, And we don't have stuff like that here. You know, we just don't. I mean, I guess there's the Pueblo stuff that's down in the desert mountain area, you know, in the southwest there. But you know, I think pretty much anything else that would have been around, you're gonna have to dig up, you know, archaeologically, or it got destroyed, basically. You know, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's some other stuff out there that I don't know about, but yeah. Anyway, I didn't mean to get all morose on that. See, and now I've avoided the bummer topics, haven't I? But you're right. There's the joke, isn't it? Europeans think 100 kilometers is a long way, but Americans think 100 years is a long time. Talk about my books. You know, I don't know about that. That came up earlier about maybe doing more show and tells. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're easy enough for me to do. It's just coming up with stuff to do them about. You know, I don't know. I'll think about it. We will see. I like the Netherlands quite a bit, Rita. I would like to go back. I haven't. See, when I was there last was in '98. So it's 25 years ago. Yeah. So man, I mean, I don't even know whether I know for sure I wouldn't really recognize it much because it's been a few months ago. One of those 4K walking tour things it showed up in my feed on YouTube, and I watched it for a bit because it was Utrecht, and I was like, oh wow, this would be interesting. Let me see if I recognize things. And I didn't recognize stuff until it got around to places where I was like, oh no, I know where that is. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh wow, everything has changed. You know what I mean? It's like, and it was over by the main square area where there's like the post and bank area. You know what I mean? It wasn't until they got around that, and I was like, wait a minute, what? Wait, what? It's like, holy mackerel, man. And I don't know. I mean, maybe my memory's bad, or maybe things just change. Well, because there you go. Businesses are going to change. People are going to, you know, change paintings and signs and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, I guess fundamentally the buildings don't change all that much, but storefronts change quite a bit, right? All the stuff that makes it, you know, superficially visible and notable, right? Yeah. Anyway. Track Santa on Christmas Eve. You know, what's the thing? Who does that? I know that they make a joke about it on the news. Is it like, yeah, I don't know. It's like the Air Force or somebody. I don't know. What am I doing for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day? Basically just staying home and spending it with family. So in the next week or so, I don't know. Yeah, probably just kind of doing some stuff around here, seeing if my sister needs help in preparatory stuff. You know, she's the one who does most of the domestic stuff, just because she's kind of that. Well, she's a mom, right? Moms do that. You know, I'm just the screwed up weird uncle. So, you know, it's funny because I remember being a kid. You know what I mean? And now I'm the uncle, and my sister's the mom. You know, how crazy is that? She's like the matriarch sort. You know, for the family now. It's like, wow, okay. Oh, wait, I think that we just got a duplicate of comments. Yes, I live in California, Rita. I was born in California and I live here. Currently, I'm living in a place called Castro Valley. Um, it's south of Oakland, so in the San Francisco Bay Area of California. So a little bit north, you know, not like way north near Oregon, but you know, sort of northern-ish. Yeah, I'm a California boy. Yeah, I've spent my time pretty. I don't, probably more up here than down there. But yeah, San Diego County and the Bay Area. Okay, okay, Craig, I will see you at another time. Take care. I hope you had a good time, and I hope to see you next time. And Trask says, hey, Cadence. Let's see, she is sitting here, and thought it'd be the coolest thing here. Ah, well, I hope she did like it. There you go, Cadence. I hope you had a good time. I hope you liked listening to the show, and yippee-yi-yay. And I hope you have a really good Christmas. And I hope you get the stuff you want. And if you don't get the stuff you want, you know, be mean to your dad until he gives you the stuff you want. Well, several of you have asked me about my plans, which are, you know, not really all that much is going to be happening. But again, is anybody else doing anything amazing? Anything that we would all be jealous of? Anybody going on a fabulous vacation? Or hey, Patty, how you doing, man? Again, you're here for like about the last half hour, buddy. But you know, how do I like living there? A couple of friends living in. I would recommend you visit San Francisco, absolutely. I think San Francisco is an absolutely beautiful city. I used to live there actually until just recently, well, I guess till 2017. I was living there for, holy mackerel, since what, 2007 or something like that until 2017, so I guess about 10 years. I lived over a block or so away from Alamo Square, which is where those super famous Victorians are. I lived in a Victorian too, it just wasn't one of the super famous ones. Like, you know, super high ceilings, crown moldings, the whole thing. It's a fantastic place to live. And the city's fantastic. There's great museums, there's great restaurants, there's, you know, the music scene isn't what it once was, but, you know, it's still reasonably okay to, you know, you can usually find something worth seeing. Yeah, come to San Francisco. You'll have a good time. And especially if your friends are already here, then you have people to hang out with and have a good time with. Yeah, you should do it. Absolutely do it. Well, I mean, you know, assuming you can afford it. I mean, like, I would love to go to Europe, but I can't afford it, right? You know, but you know, if you can afford it, then by all means, do it. Have fun. It'll be great. And if you do, you know, let me know. Maybe we could meet at someplace publicly in San Francisco, and we could, you know, like say hey to each other. You know, maybe you would like the clock tower in the Embarcadero of San Francisco or something like that. Anyway, let's move on to the rest of these. Reclaimer Rob, hey dude. Yep. Yeah, we're doing this one's just for about another, well, you know, however long I can last, probably till at least 7:30 at least. At least. Well, I'm getting redundant. But then, yeah, of course, the midnight one, and then tomorrow nights, yeah, or tomorrow evenings. But it's good to see you, man. Yeah, see, it's crazy. Some of the same people return, and it kind of makes me happy. You know, I mean, I don't know if I'm super good at remembering everybody's, you know, the thing that, you know, I mean, because there's many of you and one of me. But yeah, you know, I don't know. It just makes me happy. So I'm glad you guys do show up. Makes it worthwhile. You know, I'm a weirdo that way, I guess. Actually, that's not weird, is it? Yeah. Let's see what it's to say. Yeah, Rita, that'd be great. I'm curious to, when you do finally get to make it over here, whether the timing works and we manage to ever run into each other or not. I would like to hear what you think of, just because I'm curious what people think about things in general. I guess I'm just kind of nosy. Okay, Reclaimer Rob says. Okay, so how did I come up with the plan? Is what Reclaimer Rob is asking. You know, it was just sort of this vague, hazy thing. Okay, so I wanted to do a live stream thing, and because there's one of you. Okay, so I wanted to do a live stream, partially because there's some people that I occasionally watch live streams of, And like Air Light used to do live streams now and again. And there's this guitar guy, Philip McKnight, I'll watch every once in a while. And once in a while I'll watch Sarah Entombed, who's a car person. I mean, I'm not really much of a car person, to be honest. But she's kind of charismatic, and it's amusing. Anyway, yeah, but they do live streams and they're kind of entertaining. I was like, oh man, that seems like a good thing to do, just for fun and whatever. And it seemed like it was a good way of kind of making the whole thing with the channel and the fan base and all that be less like me and you, right? You know what I mean? It made it seem like it could be more of a community, more of a kind of a thing where we were interacting with each other rather than it just be separate or whatever. I don't know. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. I don't know. I feel like I'm a little airheaded at the moment. Yeah, Patty. Right. Yeah, if you make it to California, Trask, absolutely let me know. You know, that would be cool. I've only ever met one person who's ever watched me on YouTube, and it was a young man who was friends of my youngest niece, who is currently living out of state. I kind of miss her, but anyway, um, I don't remember the guy's name. I'm really crappy when it comes to name. And he came by the house here a couple of times. He's a nice guy. He said flattering things about me and was really polite and made a good impression. And I'm a jerk and can't remember his name. But yeah, that was really cool. I mean, part of it was good for my ego because somebody, watched my stuff and liked my things, and yay, good for me. But it was also just an interesting thing to like have that kind of weird, like, so I do a thing remotely, right? Because you're just watching videos and then you take that in and then now you come back and you talk to me. You know what I mean? It's like a weird, I don't know. It was just unusual, I guess is really the best thing to say about it. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Trask, of course. You get in, if you ever get to the Bay Area, let me know, man. It'd be kind of cool just to be able to see a human face, you know? A French press for tea. Interesting. Well, I guess that makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like just like a big, sophisticated tea ball, isn't it? Right, Patty? I mean, okay, so DS asks if I've ever done any voice acting. Actually, I did. To be honest, it was after I started doing my channel a long time ago. Um, and Uberduck, yeah. Well, welcome back, dude. Yeah, how's it going? Um, so the voiceover thing again. Okay, so I had several people had suggested that I should do something like that because they liked my voice from making ASMR videos, and I got enough compliments on the timbre of my voice. So I was like, well, maybe maybe my voice does sound good enough that other people like it enough that something like that. Um, um, maybe it would work, right? So I actually even went to a place that's called Voice One in San Francisco. It's like a voice over studio place, and they actually offer lessons, so you can learn to do things and this and that. And I did that for a little bit of time, um, but then I came to realize that voiceover is still showbiz. You know what I mean? I'd have to go do auditions, and it's just like I just don't want to do that. You know what I mean? It's just like if somebody were just to call me up and say, "Hey, Bill, I'd like you to kind of do this thing. I like the sound of your voice," and and if it was something that I actually had the capacity and the skill to do, because I would. Because I don't know. I might suck. I mean, it's one thing to me to just do this with mics in my room, but I don't know that I could do, sufficiently, do something well enough for somebody, that wanted to pay me for it. I don't know. Anyway, but I did consider it for a while, but then it's just like, I guess I'm just lazy, you know what I mean? I don't know. Oh, man. And Mario Ramirez Arazola says, hello back. Hello to you from California. Wait. Have I ever considered playing Gandalf? Well, yeah, I guess I have. To be honest, I'd have to say that I have. But only because so many people have suggested it. I mean, I don't know. Um, I don't know if I'd be able to pull it off, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've got a long beard, but, you can do a beard with prosthetics, though, really, if you know. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd consider it. Okay, so we're coming up on 7:20. I'm going to say, probably for another 15, 20 minutes, and then I'm going to call it quits for now until midnight, and I'll be back for that one. But yeah, so just sort of a warning, roughly 20 minutes, kind of thing. So if there's something you're just burning to ask me, now would be the time to formulate your thoughts and put it down. Anyway, so here we go. Have I lived in California all my life? Ever thought of moving? Yeah, I've mostly lived in California, almost all my life. We talked about that a little bit earlier, like 90-something% of my life has been spent here in California. And yeah, I've actually considered moving on more than one occasion. The second time I went to the Netherlands was supposed to be permanent, and it just didn't work out. Just me and the guy for whom I was working, it turned very sour very quickly. And I don't know, I can't remember which live stream it's in, but I've talked about that before already at a pretty good amount of detail, so I'm not going to do it now. But so there was that. There was a time I was going to move to Baltimore, but that kind of fell through. Yeah, so several times I was going to move places, and it just has always fallen through. Yeah, I just can't seem to get out of California, man. And then later years I didn't because my parents were getting older, and so I just said, all right, I'm just going to stay here, specifically in the Bay Area. And then when I moved to here in 2017, it was sort of a mixed thing of I was beginning to have health issues because of my degenerative disc issue, and my mom was having a lot of pretty bad health problems. So my dad had suggested, and I agreed that maybe it would be a good idea for me to come home, So I did, and there you go. And it's been good for me because whatever. So yeah. Yeah, but I doubt I will move anywhere for as long as my dad's alive, just because he's kind of, he's in his 70s now, and I don't know. It would depend on what circumstances arose and what the opportunities would be like. But it would have to be something really appealing to pull me away from California at this point. But I mean, it's not impossible. It would just have to be something really compelling. Now, for short-term traveling things, I would absolutely love to do that. Anyway, do you have an ELO chess rating? And if so, no, I don't. I don't have an ELO chess rating. I'm not very good at chess. I never got the bug of it. I mean, I can understand how the pieces move, but I never really got very good at it. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things that I think to be able to get really good at chess, not only do you have to just understand the logic of it, but you have to kind of love the game, I think, and I just don't, So yeah, no, I'm not. I don't have a chess rating. I suck. I mean, I used to play with this one guy for a while because he was really into it, and he was a friend of mine, and I basically just started playing him just to shut him up, to be honest. We used to smoke weed together, and he was like our neighbor, and so I would smoke weed with him, and we would play chess and listen to rock music. It was fine. It was all right, but I mean, I guess I was probably better at it then just because I was playing it frequently, but I never really got that good at it. I mean, not even good enough to even mention it to people, right? You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be weirdly, falsely modest or anything. No, no, that's not it at all. I'm actually not good. I would love to see Bill voice Lincoln Carter. Oh yeah, Matthew. That's what can I do that? All right, all right, all right. Something like that. Yeah, I could sit in the back of a big Lincoln car and a big Lincoln Town car with let me have a little vapey pen or a bong or something. I could sit in the back of a town car and see how smooth it is. I don't think they'd go for it, but it would amuse the hell out of me. I mean, that would be the selling point, right? Look at this Lincoln Town car is so smooth, Bill can hit the bong and not even spill a drop of water. Anyway. He told him. That's funny, Uber Duck. Oh man, that's funny. All right. Oh man, the things people will do to get out of stuff. I always still get baffled by the. Well, you guys don't see it, but I can describe it to you. Um, the time delay. Right, just to give you an idea about what it is, right? So I'm going to do this, right? So I'm waving this now, and then I'm going to stop. And then while I'm looking over here, I'm looking over here, I'm watching it, I'm watching it, I'm watching it. And I'm still watching it, I'm still watching it, I'm still watching it. And there it goes. Now it just happened, right? So that's the delay. So anyway, it just throws me off at times. And because like I'll say a thing, and I'll know there's a delay because like when you guys respond and when I say, you know what I mean? Sometimes things get out of sync. Anyway, it just amuses me. So anyway, there you go. Well, thanks, Rita. Random question. Do I have a religion I follow and believe in? I guess the short answer is no, but the long and complicated answer is yes. Um, I'm an atheist, but I'm religious, if that makes sense. I mean, I guess superficially, the thing to point to would be Buddhism, right? Buddhism does not necessarily have a deity involved at all. Um, but yeah, so I have my own thing. And I think there's a couple of things you can probably find on my channel or on my other channel, the W.C. Postman channel, where I talk a little bit about that. I know there's a video on this channel that's just called My Religion, where I talk a little bit about that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's kind of complicated, so I'm not going to go into it right now. Let's just say that the way I view the world is largely influenced by the fact that I studied math at college, and I am pretty heavily influenced by things like Taoism, and I took some courses and did some reading in Eastern religions and philosophy and stuff like that, and that's been super impactful on me. So yeah, I guess that'll give you an idea. But yeah, I'm a spiritual atheist, I guess, if that's makes any sense to you. Okay, Uber Duck. See you next time. Oh, Patty. All right, cool. Okay, Uber Duck, you as well, man. Take care. What do I think is a good book to read? Wow, okay. Off the top of my head right now, what would be a good book to read? I suppose what is what is the point of reading the book? Are you just looking for something to have fun, or are you um, looking for something to be informative? Um, the thing that just popped into my head just now is A General and His Labyrinth. I'm pretty sure that was in, yeah, I know it was in my show and tell, and I'm pretty sure I recommended it then too. It's a great book. So A General and His Labyrinth by Marquez. Fantastic book. It's about Bolivar, who was the general who basically, he's the guy that freed South America from Spain, basically, I guess is the short answer to it. Um, but yeah, there you go. I recommend that. That's a great, great book. And so there you go. So yeah, to have fun and learn, General and His Labyrinth would satisfy both of those things. It's not a historic book in the sense that you would read it for a history class, I don't think, you know what I mean? But Marquez did research and taught, I mean, there are historical accuracies in the book. But I think, I don't know, I kind of feel like he understood the guy, or came to be able to understand the guy in such a way that it was worth reading. It's a, man, he's a guy, because Bolivar affected the world. You know what I mean? Think about that. Bolivia, right? That's why it's named that, is him. Yeah, he was a guy. You should read that book. It's a thing. Yeah, if you don't already know who Bolivar is, yeah, do that. Read that. That's a good book. Really good book. Marcus Diaz says, "What's my favorite movie?" It's a trio of them: The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and The House of Flying Daggers. There you go. Those three movies currently right now are the three movies that because I can't break it up any finer than that. Anybody asks me my favorite movie, there you go, that's them. And House of Flying Daggers is the most recent addition. Before that, it was just the two of them. I had to add that, you know what I mean? Just because after having seen it. But both 2001 and The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, they've been my favorites for like a long, long, long time. You know what I mean? Since going back to my youth. But The House of Flying Daggers is something I added as an adult. Anyway, The House of Flying Daggers it's a Chinese film. It's one of those dramas where they incorporate martial arts that's been just so beautifully choreographed. It's like ballet, and the filming and the color and it's okay. So there's a visual sort of vocabulary that exists in China. You know, like Hero has that, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. What is it? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Is that the name? Man, my brain just dropped the ball on that. But right, so there's kind of a look to those movies, and it's kind of among those movies. It's just it's lush and it's gorgeous, and the story is dramatic, and you know, I mean the Chinese dramas like that, they're I don't know, melodramatic. They're intense. They're emotionally just very, you know, whatever. Right? They are what they are. I like that movie a lot, though. Okay. Okay, that's a good recommendation for Rita. Okay, cool. Glad you liked the movie there. Okay, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Yeah, I don't know why my brain just now that I'm seeing it, it makes absolute sense. But my brain just totally dropped that off. You know what I mean? It's like, man, I am not God. And well, you know, maybe I am God. You know, I mean, if you believe in God, and depending on your notion of God, right? You know what I mean? I mean, it's probably you didn't want me to take it all that seriously, but you know, I'm gonna, man, I'm gonna. You know, the whole Brahma dream thing, right? If that's your kind of notion of how a God might exist, in that because in that regard, everything is a manifestation of God, right? That's a pretty deep kind of way of, you know, coming at it. Um, yeah, that's kind of interesting. But anyway, so if that's the way you're going to interpret what God is, then of course I'm God. But then so are you. So is that rock. So you know, and not to trivialize it. That's still, you know, it's, you know, Alan Watts does this thing where he's talking about that um, you're playing hide and seek with yourself or something like that. He does this lecture about that. That's really kind of cool. Which is, you know, that's a thing that comes out of you know, an Eastern. I mean, I don't think he invented that, obviously, but he does a really good lecture about it. That's here on YouTube. Actually, he does more than one, to be honest. But yeah. Okay, so insert name says, okay, I love asking this, but what do you know about the Roman Empire? Oh, you know, well, you know, I'm not the guy to ask. You know, I have a friend who knows more about it than I do. But so I know a little bit about it. You know what I mean? You know, there's the whole. I mean, I read the Aeneid, right? So there's a mythos thing involved there. But and I took a course in the classics. You know, the early beginnings of Rome, I'm kind of rusty on historically. And then there's the getting rid of monarchs in order to, you know, have the Senate and the like, right? Never have a king again, kind of thing. And then, you know, you end up with Caesar, and then of course things start to change. And Caesar, right? You know, what was it, 50 something BC? He goes through Gaul up to Britain, and you know, I don't know. I know a few things here and there. You know, not enough to, you know, boast about it or anything like that. Enough that when I watch history documentaries, I know what's going on, and somebody will say something, I'll go, oh yeah, right. I mean, like that. But yeah. Who looks like a god? Patty, you're not saying I look like a god, are you? I'm Aqualung, man. How's that for self-deprecation? Um, does God know he's a god? Well, see, there you go. That's the game that God plays with himself. If you're getting into the Brahma dream, you know, it's a game, man. Tag, you're it. Right? You know, that's the thing, eh? My favorite video game. Okay, I have to think about this because there's a few games that I've played over time that will probably fit what you're thinking about as video game. I can't think of what it's called. And it wouldn't matter. It's just one of those sort of game sword things. I don't know what it's called. It's just a generic, you know, sword sort of game thing that my sister and her kids used to play, and I played it, and I guess it's my favorite because it's the only one I really played of those types of console games. I wish I could think. I thought I had the name of it, but I can't bring it out of my memory. Otherwise, my video games that I liked go back old school, like Robotron, Tempest. You know, I'm talking like 1980s. You know, like 1980, like, you know, 80 to about 83, something like that. You know, 1980 to about 1983. I used to go to arcades even before then, but from 1980 to about 1983 was when I was spending the most amount of money in arcades that I spent. And that would have been from like 15 to 18 in that age range. You know, and then you start going out with girls and you stop playing video games. At least that's the way it played out for me. But, you know, that was back in the 80s, so it was a different world back then. Yeah, we didn't have, you know, computers weren't what they are now. I mean, almost nobody had them in their homes. We had one, but that was because my dad worked in computers, and although we didn't really use it when we lived in San Diego, it was set up here in well, not San Francisco, but the East Bay. Yeah, we had a couple. There was an Exidy Sorcerer. We had a couple of those, and then a Vector Graphics. And then my dad had a Krememco for a while, but he didn't own it. It was one that he had. It was a client's machine that he was doing a contract work for a while. Anyway, so there's my, you know, Robotron, Tempest. What else did I like? Those are the two that I think of the most when I think I like about video games. Anyway, cats or dogs? Probably dogs, just because that's what the people upstairs keep. I'm fine with either, though I don't keep pets, really, just because I'm an oddball, eccentric screwball, and I would probably forget to be a good caretaker for the pet, you know what I mean? So it's probably best I don't. Yeah, you know. But I like it because, you know, everybody upstairs. Let's see, there's, I guess, 7 dogs that live upstairs. And I like to go up and hang out with them and play with them. You know, I'm like one of the few adults that, well, actually everybody's an adult now. But yeah, nobody else gets on the floor with the dogs. I like to get on the floor with the dogs. Here's the thing, get on the floor with the dogs. The dogs will be happy to see you. Any game. Do you mean just games other than video games? You know, I'm not really much of a game player anymore. I used to really like cards a lot. Like I used to play cribbage a lot. I used to try to play bridge. I suck at it, though. I'm never very good at bidding. Although, you know, I never did it enough to get good at it, I guess. I used to really like backgammon. I used to be really good at backgammon. I used to embarrass people at parties. I'd never really boast about it, although I guess I'm boasting about it now. But more than once I've been at a party where somebody would say something about being really good at backgammon, and then they'll do a thing, and then so I'll have to say, yeah, let's play backgammon. I'm pretty good at backgammon, and then I will, you know, over the course of a few games, pound them. But here's the thing, backgammon is a good game, and it's a fun game, but you have to be careful because dice can kill you. You could be a really, really, really good backgammon player, but if somebody else gets better dice, you're screwed. I mean, that's the thing, right? You know, that's the thing with a lot of games. The minute you put in an element of chance, you can hose yourself into any type of philosophy. I'm not a ist or an ism or a guy. You know what I mean? I have read a certain amount of philosophy over the course of my life. I don't remember most of it because I don't cling to things like that, really. You know what I mean? I don't, like, I read it like I eat it. You know what I mean? I read it like, am I getting something out of it? And if I do, I try to incorporate it in the way I think about things. And otherwise, then I'm done with it. You know what I mean? I just don't, you know. I don't read philosophy in the same way I read a book, right? I read books and I like them, although I don't tend to memorize books either, you know what I mean? But I don't tend to go back to philosophy either, you know? Like, I read Nietzsche a long, long time ago. I don't have any interest in reading him again. I don't know, maybe I'm being a curmudgeon. It's not out of arrogance. It's not like I think that I can't learn anything. It's just my interests lie elsewhere, and I only have so much time on the planet, man. I'm 58. I've wasted a lot of time, man. I got shit to do. And I still waste too much time. But yeah, so yeah, I'm into my own philosophy, man. I try to figure the world out for myself, maybe that is a certain kind of arrogance, but I believe I'm an organism that exists, and my religion is me trying to figure that out, And I think that, if you want to know about the material aspect of the world, then you use the method of science. If you want to know about other stuff, then I don't know, contemplation, meditation, that kind of thing. Yeah. There's probably other stuff to do, but off the top of my head, that's it. There you go. Billisms, yeah, Patty. Patty, I think you're watching too many of my videos. You're getting to know me too well. Okay, well, everybody given their last questions, because it's 7:43 by this clock, and yeah, I'm gonna by my clock at 7:45, I'm gonna. Well, it's now 7:44, so a minute. Is this my last ever stream? No. This is just the last of the stream for tonight. I will be back at midnight, and then I will be back again tomorrow at 5 p.m. So yeah, there's it's just that my back's starting to give me a little bit of grief. So I'm going to cut this particular streaming episode down to, what is it? OBS says I've been streaming for an hour 46 and 52 seconds and going. So yeah. So I'm just gonna call it quits for right now. So maybe just pausing, I guess, is the thing, right? Not really calling it quits, just saying au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, that kind of thing, right? And then I will be back at midnight, and then we can go from there if anybody else wants to return. Okay, let's see. This last couple of things here. What kind of year do you think 2024 will be? I have no idea, man. We'll just have to wait and see. What motivates me in life to help me keep going? Humans. Humans need humans. Whether it's romance, whether it's sex, whether it's art, whether it's whatever, humans need humans. That's what gets me going. Humans. Anyway, that's a good note to end on. There you go. So humans. Love humans. There you go. Aloha, siblings.